Hi, everyone. This is your girl, Shanidra, with Let's Dig Deep. We are about to get deep because today's topic is Don't Be a Fool. So, we're going to start with Proverbs, the first chapter, and we're going to read verses 1 through 7. And remember, the topic is Don't Be a Fool. So, this is what God is asking for the wise. He said, the Proverbs of Solomon, son of David, king of Israel, for gaining wisdom and instruction, for understanding words of insight, for receiving instruction in prudent behavior, doing what is right and just and fair, for giving prudence to those who are simple, knowledge and discretion to the young. Let the wise listen and add to their learning, and let the discerning get guidance. For understanding proverbs and parables, the sayings and riddles of the wise. So basically, what it's saying is gaining wisdom and instruction for understanding. So the wise gain wisdom and instruction for understanding. And they do what is right and just and fair. Um, and let the wise listen and add to their learning. So we listen and we add to our learning. Okay, so now that we got that, so we can understand the proverbs and the parables. And then 7 says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Number 1, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. I'm going to say that again. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. But, it says, fools despise wisdom and instruction. Proverbs, the 13th chapter, verse 21. Let's see what that says. Because, honey, we better get to it. I can't wait. Trouble pursues the sinner, but the righteous are rewarded with good things. A good person leaves an inheritance for their children's children, but a sinner's wealth is stored up for the righteous. Okay, so basically what that says is that trouble pursues a sinner, but the righteous are rewarded with good things. Okay. Proverbs 8. Okay, Proverbs 18:2 is the one I am so ready for. Because I did do some notes. So 18:2 says, now, mind you, back at Proverbs, the first chapter, verse 7, it says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Fools despise wisdom. Okay, now Proverbs 18:2 says, fools find no pleasure in understanding, but delight in airing their own opinion. So basically what that means is that they are stuck in their own minds. They don't want to hear any wisdom, any knowledge. They despise that. Any God-filled knowledge, they despise that. They want to be stuck in their own thinking with their own opinions. They don't fear the Lord. They have no knowledge, period. They're a fool. So don't be a fool. So with those scriptures of Proverbs, I just want to give y'all this Me and my children were watching this Santa Claus movie. I'm not going to say the name. When y'all watch it, y'all be able to know. But it's on Netflix, and it's a Santa movie with a singer in it. That's all I'm saying. And in the movie, oh my gosh, they tried to make Santa like he was Jesus or God. They were saying, basically, if you're not good to Santa or if you're not obedient to Santa or whatever, then you will be cursed and bad things will happen to you. And Santa Land is Hollow Land and all of this stuff in this movie that they have for kids. And I'm like, wow, this is so crazy. For one, they don't fear the Lord. For them to try to deceive these young children like they are and having them to believe in Santa as if Santa, they better be good, they better not pout, they better not shout, they better not cry because Santa Claus is coming. How about Jesus Christ is coming? How about people need to fear the Lord right now? They have no fear of the Lord and they are deceiving these people. And it's sad because if I tell people that I told my kids not to believe in Santa, Santa is not real, and that they need to believe in Jesus Christ, period. That's crazy. You gonna do them kids like that? It's like, are you that foolish to be that naive and to fix your mouth to say that's crazy and I should not do my kids that way? You are doing your children a disservice when you plant these false seeds of a false fake Santa. Yes, I said it because I don't care. I know who backs me up. He said, don't worry about your adversaries, as I told you in my previous video of Godfidence. I have the Godfidence and the confidence in God. So I know whatever God is allowing me to say, he got my back, period. So I'm not scared or naive or foolish enough to condone Santa Claus and tell them about this fake Santa Claus and be condemned because I won't let them believe in Santa Claus. But I'm telling them to believe in God. You don't even mix the two. But don't nobody want to hear about God. Don't nobody want to hear about how wonderful he is, but you can hear about Santa Claus. What has Santa Claus done for you? Tell me what Santa Claus has done for you. Well, everybody knows he's not real, but you will want me to tell my kids to believe in something false, fake, but not to believe in God, someone whom it just makes no, it's foolish. Don't be a fool. It says in Proverbs to fear the Lord. Basically, to gain out, you have to fear him. But people fear, the government or, you know, others, as I'm going to say, than they do the Lord. You scared of your boss. You fear your boss. You fear, everybody else but the Lord. Oh, I can't say that. Oh, you better quit talking about God. You better get you some God. You better get you some God because you being a fool. Period. I don't care. You don't care about what you say to me. You insult me when you talk down about God. Someone that gave you another chance at life, gave you breath to see another day. Santa Claus did not allow you to see another day. Period. Santa Claus is not real. And I have told my kids that both of them know that Santa Claus is not real. And they're not going to believe in that nonsense. But it's crazy how they're trying to put Santa Claus as if he's God, and everybody goes to Santa Claus land, and if you don't do what Santa says and help Santa Claus out and do what is right, then you will be cursed. I mean, you using the things of the Bible, but you don't want to give any credit to God. Really, really, don't use none of his stuff. Period. Don't use anything of the Bible because it's false. It's fake. Your stuff is fake. You are trying to persuade people like Santa Claus. You having these children believing in Santa Claus instead of believing God. Oh, Santa's going to give you gifts. You better not be pouting because he sees everything. He's up there. He's not up nowhere. God is. God sees everything. Let's set the record straight. God sees everything. God sees everything. God knows everything. I really don't care what people may say about this video because I don't care. Santa Claus is fake. And for them to be putting this in a freaking movie for children really ticks me off. We turned it off. And thankfully, my kids are in the Word of God and they know and they can discern because they have the knowledge of God because they are in God and not Santa. And they don't believe in Santa. And I'm not going to have them to believe in Santa. And if you see something wrong with me saying that there's no Santa, then you need to check your own self. I mean, God is so awesome that even when he sees all of this, because this stuff upsets me, but God is so gracious and so just awesome that he knows what he's doing pretty much. So I don't have to really explain, but it's the fact that I just don't understand how you can't see, walk, talk, breathe without him. But you will deny him and go with this falsified Santa. You do not have no fear of the Lord, but you fear if you late for work at your job. Oh, because I got to get that money. And they wasn't even going to hire you if it wasn't for good. They wouldn't have hired you. Their plan was, but God stepped in and gave you that job. Oh, but I'm talking foolish. That people call people of God foolish. No, you are the fool. And I'm not scared to say it. I'm not shutting up. I am not shutting up about God. My business is God. God is my CEO of my business. You asked me about how did you come up? I didn't come up with it. God downloaded it to me. I came up with none of this. All of this is out of my comfort zone. So therefore, you're going to ask me about my business. I'm pretty much going to tell you who runs my business, and that's God. So I can't tell you anything about my business other than God. But not to get off the subject, don't be a fool. That's the topic. Now, I just showed you in Proverbs what he said, foolish people stay in their own, they're stuck in their own understanding. They're stuck in their own understanding. They don't want to hear any wisdom. They want to be stuck in their own thinking, their own opinions. I'm paraphrasing. They want to be stuck in their own opinions. Who said I've heard a quote that said the white way is the right way. What? Who? What? That is the total opposite. And they are doing the total opposite of what God has said. He said that two women and two men is unnatural. He did not make you like that. So don't, he said that that's an abomination. So let's get that clear too. It's not just a sin, because I'm tired of people justifying to stay in their mess. And I'm not judging because um I wasn't in my word as much until now. Um and I found myself justifying why I wasn't in my word. So I'm not judging anyone. But now that I'm in my word, it's like there's so much, and I do fear the Lord. There's so much knowledge that has came because I did not understand what I was reading because of the way that the churches have put it. Even in my kids' Bible, when they was going to Bible class, Jonah, they come home with a boat. And they're like, oh, look, this is Jonah and the fish. We colored the fish that Jonah got ate up by in the boat. And I'm like, oh, okay. That has nothing to do with the story. Like, you can make the story fun for children. Because my children know the real story about Jonah. We're not talking about just the boat and the fish and all this stuff. Let's make sure that they don't become a Jonah. Let's make sure that people stop running away from what God has called them to do. Let's help people stop being foolish. You see how I added that in there? It's so easy. Don't be a fool. Quit worrying about the problem with people. They are more so worried about what people around them is going to think, just like Jonah, than what God is feeling. Ain't nobody worried about how God feels when you are disobedient and when oh, the devil, oh, no, you bringing that on your own self. And you brought God's wrath through your disobedience. If you read the word, you would know that. But Jonah problem, the reason why he got ate up by the fish is because he was running away from what God had called him to do. What so many people, they will run to a job to avoid doing what God has called them to do. And then they'll fear their boss more than they fear God. And then wonder why they're going through all these troubles and all this stuff. God caused the storm to get worse and worse while Jonah was on the boat. God sees everything, not Santa Claus. God saw Jonah going the opposite way. He told him go right. He went left. Jonah went left. Like he could hide from God. Jonah was trying to hide from God. And you can't hide from God. Like you can't hide from God. I mean, you can't hide from Santa. You can't hide from God. Quit mixing Santa and God together because Santa is not God. Period. So quit using things like that, saying Santa sees all. Santa is fake. God is real. It's crazy how foolish people can believe in a Santa Claus and worship this Santa Claus more than they can worship God. Jonah ran away from what God had called him to do. Got on the boat and thought he was hiding, trying to go the opposite way of where God told him to go. And then the man on the boat ended up finding out that they cast lots and then found out it was Jonah. Jonah told him whatever, and Jonah told him to throw him over the boat, thinking he was escaping with God. He still thought he was more clever than God, and he wasn't. And God, instead of just letting him drown and die, he allowed him to get ate up by a fish. Period. And Jonah had to get some act right while he was in the fish for God to allow the fish to throw him up. Period. Jonah made it harder on himself. And then he still had to do what God told him to do. But Jonah made it harder on himself through his disobedience. That's what we could be teaching these kids instead of them coloring a boat in a fish. We can be teaching them, don't run away from what God has told you to do. Follow his commandments so you don't make it harder on yourself. You are making it harder on yourself when you are disobedient. Jonah was disobedient. That he was disobedient. That's why he got thrown into the boat. I mean, thrown over the boat, thrown out of the boat into a fish, because he was running away from what God had told him to do, as if God does not see everything. So don't be a Jonah. That's how you tell kids. If God say quit being disobedient to your parents, then quit being disobedient to your parents so your days can be longer. Obey thy mother and thy father, and your days will be longer. You shorten your own life when you are disobedient. Jonah almost shortened his own life through his disobedience. You could just easily add that to children so they can understand, oh, I don't want to be a Jonah. But if you put it in their minds as just like a story in a book, then they're going to think that the Bible is just like a fairy tale, a book. And it's not. It's not just a book. We need to help these children understand and have the fear of the Lord so they can gain this knowledge and an understanding so they won't be a fool. Don't be a fool. Do better. Quit trying to. That's why he said, don't even be with the. Don't be of the world. Don't do these worldly things. And here we are. Most people are quick to, well, everybody doing it. Oh, honey, I've been a standout all my life. Thank you, Lord. I've been a peculiar person all my life, and I'm thankful for it. I've never did what everybody else did or told me to do. I've never smoked or whatever. So, and I've been around people that smoke. I just have the self-control that God has told me to have. Now, I haven't been perfect all my life because I do have 2 kids and I'm not married. So there's nothing that I'm not ashamed. I made it harder on myself. I made it harder on myself through my disobedience. But had I had the real knowledge and people telling me the real stuff, then I would have been straight. But I'm thankful for every obstacle that I've been through. Like Jonah being in the belly of the whale, he started repenting and everything because he realized, like, dang, I messed up. I know I was wrong. I shouldn't have ran away from what God told me to do. And God forgave him, and then he still had to do what God told him to do. Why can't we tell the story for what it is? Why are we sugarcoating? And God specifically told us not to sugarcoat the word. He said that in the word. So why are we sugarcoating the word? God did not say to sugarcoat anything. That's what the people were wanting the apostles and stuff to say. Oh, tell me, like, tickle my ear, basically, is what they was wanting the apostles to do. Tickle my ear. Tell me what I want to hear. Don't tell me. And it's like, really? Like, this is the world we are living in, and God is tired. So don't be a fool. Don't be foolish. Get out of your own understanding. That's why he clearly tells you over and over, do not lean to your own understanding, but acknowledge him in all of your ways. And he will lead you in the path that you should go. God, not Santa Claus, nobody else. God will lead you in the path but you cannot lean to your own understanding. Our thoughts are not his thoughts. So what may make sense to us is not what God is doing. That's why it's called a miracle. As I said in my other video, people are like, wow, how did that happen? Because God did it. He don't work on our understanding. That's what he said in his word. That's why we teach this word the right way as the word says it. Then we can really gain a lot of people. But until then, I don't know what else to say. People get more frustrated and upset with me because I told my kids that there is no Santa. How could you do that? You are depriving. No, you are depriving these children. You are, not me. I'm doing what the Lord told me to do. You are doing the things of this world, these pagan. I am, that's all I can say. Do not be a fool. Don't be a fool. I'm watching and I'm seeing, I can't even watch shows like I used to anymore because I'm seeing the deceiving tactics that they are putting in these movies. So watch, don't be a fool and watch what your children are watching because I watched it with my children. And me and my children both discerned what was happening. And it is sickening to me because Santa is not real, but God is. And so many times we take God for granted. And I want everyone to know He loves you dearly. And all He's asking is that you trust Him. Be obedient. Don't be a fool. Quit leaning to your own understanding. Stop it. Seek wisdom and knowledge, instructions. If you don't know something, seek God. Fear God more than you fear your job. I mean, the same thing we want our kids. I don't want my kids to fear me where they're scared of me, but I want them to have enough fear where they respect me. That's all God is saying. Respect Him. Show some respect towards God, like you show respect towards your boss. You give your boss the utmost respect and they treat you like crap. They don't give a dang about you. But God, He cares enough, even though you are going the opposite way of what He told you to do. Just like Jonah. He cared enough about Jonah not to just let him die. He could have just got thrown over the boat and drowned. And that could have been the end of it. Jonah was disobedient. He deserved it. But God allowed him to be in the belly of the whale just so Jonah could get some act right. And Jonah got some act right. You know, when we get under some tough waters, oh, we getting some act right. So that's all God is wanting. It's not too late. It's not too late. It wasn't too late for me. It's not too late. He don't want you to be a fool. That's why he continuously tell you, do not be a fool. He tells you what fools are. So you can read that and be like, oh, I need to change some of my ways. I had to change some ways of myself. I don't want to be a fool. So my kids will not know about no Santa Claus. I don't have any Santa nothing in my house. In this house we serve the Lord. So again, don't be a fool. Don't be a fool. Fear God, seek Him, and seek understanding. And only He can give you that understanding. Thanks again, guys.